Well, hello everybody. We are over at Dennis Tacklo's again. We got a call saying he's got a really unique bulldozer. So what is it, Dennis?
It's a Cletrac Model F, built in 1920. They only manufacture those for 3 years. I can see why.
And it's a high track or something, you said, right?
It's a high drive.
High drive.
The advertisement was, if you got a horse on your farm, if you got one horse, we can take this tractor, it'll do the work of one horse.
Nice. So let's go check this tractor out and see what we're getting ourselves into here. I have never seen one, so. You gonna start it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well here, we gotta get this on camera.
Yes, we do. I think it should start.
Hey, do you have to take that plastic bag off?
No.
Really?
Throttle. She should go. Oops. Oh. As soon as I brag about it, happens every time.
Yeah, it never fails.
The minute you brag, and the minute you get an audience,
Yeah.
it senses that.
They start the first crank when nobody's around.
That battery's getting low, see? That's why it stutters like that.
Performance anxiety.
Do you have to choke it?
I think we're better off hooking it up to a belt.
Yeah, I've never seen a pulley on the front of a machine like that either.
They were thinking about it.
Oh, I was started, but I just hit that battery thing. I think it's down to. I think it's down to 1.
Tell you what, visual
We're
proof.
on that note.
Just
what
about.
What did you say, Paul, that has that chain?
The Phoenix log hauler.
Phoenix Log Hauler.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a steam-powered
Okay.
snowmobile.
Okay. Is that up in Wisconsin? Do I?
Yeah, Wabino.
Wabino, been there twice.
Yeah, I've ran that.
Seen it. Oh, you ran it?
I've ran that, yeah.
Yeah, what you running?
The engineer, the fireman, and the steerer. It takes 3 people doing it.
We'll get a different battery tray once more.
Yeah.
See?
Speaking of batteries, I'm gonna swap these out here soon.
No idlers on this thing. Well, there is idlers, but
All right. Come on, Dennis. There it is. We'll try it again.
Sweet. Yeah, this is definitely a very unique tractor. Wow.
Never seen one like it before.
Here's a close-up of the gear shifter. Forward, reverse, and like he said, you can't start it because that is your crank. So it will not start in gear. Because if you're in first gear, you can't take the crank out of it. So you put it in neutral, you take your crank out to start it. That is a pretty unique safety feature right there. Water tank, your little petcocks to drain the water. I apologize if you can't see this very well, but we'll pull this out in the daylight here.
Oh, let's see.
Shoot. Uh-oh. Brand new, oh, look at brand new radiator.
New radio.
Look at that. Look at there. Springs on a dozer.
Exhaust goes out.
Independent suspension. High dollar.
Independent.
Well,
Should I try it again?
absolutely.
Let's try it again. made that, and Cletrac made a lot of dozers. Oliver bought them out. I don't know the year, but Oliver Cletrac was Oliver Cletrac, and they bought them out. And Oliver made dozers for years. Right? But Cletrac was pretty popular. And the book says, if you got one horse on your farm, we made a tractor to replace it. That's the funny part. They are a little unusual because they only made them for 3 years, and they only made about 2,000 of them total. So I've been to many shows all over the country, and I've yet to see one yet. So I did not know nothing about it. Got to learn it the old-fashioned way, but if they're fun to play with, and they're really unusual.
Well, I'm going to do my best to try to explain some of this stuff here. This is the little winch that Dennis was telling me about, and honestly, I'm not quite sure what it is, but his little worm drive gear in here, he did say something about it'll raise up the tractor. I'm not quite sure what the deal is, but I've never seen quite a little winch on a tractor like this. Kind of a unique little feature. And this carburetor is really unique. This pipe goes up to a water tank, and the air filters through the water system on this thing, so it's kind of unique. And a bulldozer that has a steering wheel. That is, I don't know if I've ever seen one like that before. The Magneto, kind of a unique looking thing, little 4-cylinder. I believe Dennis told me this engine has 9 horsepower. And I didn't look at these cups, if they're oil cups or if they're grease cups. I never got in there to look at them. And this pulley on the front, I've never quite seen that. Obviously a little unique to hook up. And a spring suspension on the front. Kind of like a little independent suspension on a dozer, which is really neat. A little better traction. But this pulley is something else. Might be a little tricky to line up, because once you get it lined up, you can pivot back and forth. But how do you tighten it? Because you can't pull away from the other pulley. And I did notice there was a brand new radiator put in here. All I know is this one cute little tractor. 1920 Cletrac. Definitely a unique looking unit. Here's the water pump. And again, that one there looks like a little grease cup. So every now and then you just give it a little turn and pushes some grease into the bushing. And that has a screen on it. So I don't know if that's just a little crankcase vent. I'm assuming. Brass shut off for the gas. But all in all, when we were there, man, this was a lot of fun to see this thing. And notice there's no idlers on the bottom. It rides on this chain full of little wheels. And they go around, and it just rolls on the track and onto a slide underneath there. I mean, how unique. Spring-loaded hitch on the back. And this little unit right here is the starter. And it has to be in neutral to get that out of there. So you cannot accidentally start this tractor when it's in gear. And them are your petcocks to check the water level. And here I am with the steering wheel again. I was just pretty amazed with that. Dennis was telling me that the track actually doesn't stop. It'll just slow one side down. So it's not like your typical dozer where you can turn on a dime. Here's a little close-up shot of all these wheels in here where the tracks just roll on these wheels and they turn the sprockets. The tracks are driven. The wheels, the chain full of wheels are just free-floating in there. So as they spin, they just kind of go around. And that is a starter, hand crank, I guess we'd call it. And this tractor, from what you can hear, is not very loud. And it's just a little straight pipe on there. Not real loud, probably because the compression is low and doesn't make a whole lot of horsepower. And that carburetor is very unique looking too, and he told me that does not have a Venturi in it. It has reed valves like a snowmobile.
Enough.
That's awesome.
They didn't design this for old farts to get off.
So, kind of being a railroad channel, you know, way back when. Here's a slusher bucket. You know, back in the 1800s, I imagine a lot of railroads were built with these. They hooked up probably with donkeys right here. and they would just drag this, fill that up over the highs, and dump it in the lows. And a guy would walk behind hanging onto these two handles here. So I'm just thankful that we're not building our railroad with one of them buckets. But there was a lot of basements dug with these too.
I think it's red and green.
Well, I don't know what you thought of that little dozer of Dennis's, but I had a ball over there. We ran it around a little bit, and man, I seen some neat things. After it was all said and done, we went into a shop and BS for a little while, and he gave me this nice lantern here. This has been hanging in his shop for quite a while, so I was pretty excited about this. We'll get it cleaned up, and we'll put this on display at the railroad. Everything seems to be here. Everything seems to be in working order. So I was pretty excited about this. We might even have to put some oil in this and give it a whirl, see how that works. See if it leaks. Yeah, this is an awesome light. So I just want to give a shout out to Dennis and say thank you very much. Donated by Dennis Tacklo of Scandia. This will definitely be on display after we get it cleaned up. Thank you, members, and we'll see you next time.